The first thing that gave me my enormous curiosity was a compass. I was 8 years old. At that time, I had no idea that you could move without touching an object. This tiny compass struck lightning in the darkness of my mind. When my father gave me that small but mysterious object, I realized that the world had an invisible power. Then a book. I was introduced to the language of geometry. There was beauty in those pages. It was like a map that carried the order that exists within a person to the outside world. That day, I understood. As much as the things we see, the things we cannot see shape our lives. But unfortunately, I didn't like school, because only the answers were evaluated there, not my questions. However, for me, thinking was not a necessity, it was an instinct. I made my first invention when I was 12. Of course, it is obvious that my compass was the source of inspiration for this. What I made was a simple electromagnet and a spinning propeller. At that moment, I understood that I would not only keep my dreams in my head, but also turn them into matter. This journey would take me to the journey of how matter came into being. And now, in a sense, I have come back to this life from another parallel or a wormhole. I am in 2025. If I were born today, what questions would I pursue in today's world? What unknowns would I shed light on? Then get ready, because what I am going to tell you is not only the story of the past, but also the story of the future. My arrival in 2025 has shown me a century in which I have seen many of my hypotheses proven and still cannot believe that physics is still here in this era. But physics is still a fundamental issue that occupies my mind. But it is no longer just theoretical. Now more is possible. Here are my first ideas that will open and close eras. 1. Quantum neural web. I see that people need a single keystroke for information that has everything, but they still don't know how to use it, Neil. I have created a system that models the thought patterns of the human brain at the quantum level with a universal mind interface that works with quantum processors. It can be used in every field from education to health, from diplomatic decision systems to individual psychotherapy. A flawless connection will be established between human intelligence and machines, and production will be increased with applications. A data pool will be created that will allow the entire world to share its collective intelligence. It will no longer be access to information, but evolution with information. Albert, in a determined tone, this network will solve the greatest loneliness of man, the desire to be understood, because thought will no longer be a language, but a wave. Second temporal simulator. I was very surprised that people can make wrong decisions in this age. That's why I will create their own time universe for humanity. With the individual time experience module based on relativity and quantum entanglement, the person will be able to experience past or future scenarios. In this way, it will have revolutionized psychological rehabilitation, historical education, and strategic planning. How do you talk about being late for your own appointment in this century? Now, it's your time. With this feature, traumas will be treated with simulation, and leaders will be able to see the results of their decisions in advance. If I were born into time, I would not only measure it, I would touch it. The future will be written with knowledge, and I am not just a physicist anymore. I have come to redefine time. The path of science is not straight. Mine never was. I worked in a patent office for years, dozens of hair dryers, shavers, pen mechanisms a day. But in that silence I had plenty of time to think. And it was in that office that I questioned the nature of time. Relativity was born there. It rose out of the silence. 1905, Annus Mirabilis. My year of miracles. I wrote 4 revolutionary papers in 1 year: light, mass, time. They were all redefined. I am Albert Einstein, and this is only the beginning, because time is still relative, but courage is timeless. Today, thought may be a simulation, but tomorrow, we must protect reality from simulations. My name is Albert Einstein, and I still think, because thinking is the first step in shaping the universe. If the geniuses of the past do not speculate on the future, who will? In my time, we split the atom. Now we are ready to bend time. We have surpassed the limits of language. Direct communication between minds is no longer a dream. Imagine hearing God whisper when you think of Him. Thanks to this technology, emotions and thoughts can be conveyed without words. Thinking will be enough for communication between people. So who would we open our thoughts to? Perhaps the key to this peace is understanding. My apple of my eye, my most precious energy equation, E equals mc squared, was actually not just an equation, it was a roadmap. I now plan to pass matter through energy and build foldable roads in the folds of space-time. 1 step in Berlin, 1 step on Mars. It is incomprehensible that we have not yet established colonies there. I can be powerful, but it has to be ethical. That's why I designed Conscious Core. This system creates an intelligence that synthesizes universal ethical principles and values compassion as much as data when making decisions. Because technology should be humanity's conscience, not its slave. Today, thought may be a simulation, but tomorrow, we must protect reality from simulations. My name is Albert Einstein, and I still think, because thinking is the first step in shaping the universe.